Let us begin with the objective. Rocks consist of several components called minerals. Depending upon their nature and the use they are put to, they are given different names. Rock forming minerals, the ore minerals, and the industrial minerals. These make the bulk of any rock unit. In this unit, we shall get acquainted with them and how they differ from each other. The mineral kingdom is not as vast and complex as the biological kingdom. There are over 3000 species of minerals, 450 of them occur commonly, of which silicate group predominates. In contrast, there are estimated 5 to 100 million different kinds of living organisms. In an average normal rock, there may be different category to which their constituent mineral belong. A very small number of minerals make up the bulk of the rock, that is over 90% of its volume. That constitutes the earth's crust. These minerals are called the rock forming minerals. Quartz, feldspar, mica for example are the most important rock forming mineral in a common rock like a granite. Minerals which make up the rest of the 10% volume and which does not affect nomenclature or classification are called accessory minerals. Mineral apatite in a granite will be called an accessory mineral, and the name ore mineral on the other hand is a naturally occurring mineral aggregate. Definition is generally confined to metallic elements from which one or more elements could be extracted by large profitability. Hematite for example is an ore of iron and galena that of lead. Ore minerals found in rocks is generally mixed with other non-metallic minerals called gangue. Industrial minerals are geological materials, mineral or even a rock that are mined for their commercial use in several industrial operations. Unlike ore minerals, they are used in their natural state, sometimes with a little beneficiation. Limestone, that is calcite, gypsum, quartz, diamond are some of the commonly used industrial minerals. In this lesson, we will highlight the topic separately under the following heads. 1. Common rock forming minerals in igneous and metamorphic rocks. 2. Common rock forming minerals in sedimentary rocks. 3. Ore forming minerals. 4. Common ore minerals. 5. Industrial minerals, and last 5 summary. Rock forming minerals. There is considerable overlapping in the rocks formed by igneous, called igneous rocks, and metamorphic, called metamorphic rocks. So far their processes of formation are concerned, though metamorphism may cover a much broader pressure temperature range. Their bulk mineralogy therefore may also overlap. Most common rock forming minerals in common igneous rocks include quartz, feldspars, olivine, pyroxenes, amphiboles and micas, quartz being an oxide, whereas the rest are all silicates. Proportion of these minerals in different rocks is a matter of chemical nature of rock, whether acid, intermediate, basic or ultra basic, defined by the amount of silica in them. More acidic varieties will have abundance of feldspar, quartz, micas, whereas proportion of olivine, pyroxenes and amphiboles increasing as rock becomes more basic. Some new minerals like garnet and aluminum silicates, namely kyanite, andalusite and sillimanite, which do not appear in igneous rocks, become common in metamorphic rocks. All these minerals in fact constitute a group or a family, and different varieties may be more common in certain type of rocks. Mica may have 4, feldspars more than 10, pyroxenes and amphiboles may also have similar numbers. The figure shows common rock forming minerals in a typical granite, whereas table 1 gives bulk chemistry of these common rock forming minerals. The table presented gives rock forming minerals of igneous rocks, their group and their silica percentage, that is how much silica is there in all these different minerals, and the ferromagnesian minerals and also those minerals which are not ferromagnesian. Common rock forming minerals in sedimentary rocks. Minerals that constitute igneous and metamorphic rocks also to some extent interlock each other. Sedimentary rocks are not so. Individual grains of the constituent minerals are cemented together. Cementing material may be different, like calcareous consisting of calcite and dolomite, siliceous consisting of silica, or ferruginous consisting of hematite and limonite, or it may be argillaceous consisting of clays. Quartz and other silica minerals are the dominant rock forming constituents in rhodaceous, which includes conglomerates and breccias, and arenaceous, which includes sandstone, greywax, arkose and grit. In greywax and arkose, minerals like feldspar are also fairly common, whereas sandstone and conglomerates are dominated by quartz and other silica minerals. Limestone and dolomites are the storehouses for two common rocks forming minerals, namely calcite in limestone and dolomite in dolomite rock. Both of these can be formed in more than one way. Clastic, like a sandstone, formed from sand grains by chemical precipitation and also by organisms. Clay minerals are the building blocks of argillaceous rocks, shale, mudstone, claystone, siltstone and marl. Compared to these above, these are extremely fine grained, shows conglomerate, sandstone and dolomite. Ore forming minerals. As such, any part of the earth's crust is of economic value to human beings, be it rock, mineral, fuels or soil. However, ores of various metals is what is the entire world is after in a special way. Ore is a mineral or rock enriched in a metal or metals that can be extracted profitably. For being a workable deposit, it needs to be large enough to be called an ore body. it is hosted in rocks from something like an average crustal composition to arrive at an ore body. All the known geological, that is igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic and tectonism and biological processes have to work long enough from geological point of view. It then needs to be preserved, discovered, mined and the valuable metal or metals extracted. No wonder ore minerals are very rare commodity. There is a saying that all the major ore deposits of the world have been already discovered. What remains will be smaller, leaner and in inaccessible regions of the world. In this study, we cannot be exhaustive for want of time and space. We shall only consider most important ore forming minerals that are most commonly found and worked around the world. This will include minerals of iron, manganese, chromium, aluminum, tin, copper, lead, zinc, cobalt, arsenic, gold and few others. Common ore minerals. We shall study some of these common ore minerals according to their state of occurrence in native state, oxides, sulfides, etc. Native ore minerals. There are around 20 elements that are found in native state. Most important is gold. Original source is along with quartz as hydrothermal vein deposits and as secondary deposits in flakes, grains, nuggets, in alluvial tracts, conglomerates. It has several uses including bullion, international financial stability, jewelry, instruments, medicinal and many others. Silver and platinum make another important members of the native metal ores. Among oxides, perhaps the most important ore occurring as oxide is hematite, that is iron oxide with 70% Fe, followed by magnetite which has got 72.4% Fe. These two are the most important source of iron, the backbone of steel manufacture, construction, transport and all heavy industries. Sedimentary, metamorphosed Precambrian banded iron ore formations and banded hematite quartzite are the globally renowned storehouses of this ore. India has one of the best iron ore deposits of the world. The commonly used ores that go on to make steel and other alloys include pyrolusite, which is manganese dioxide, an important ore of manganese, and chromite, which is chromium oxide, cassiterite, that is tin oxide. Cassiterite is another commonly used oxide ore which has multiple uses, especially in alloys. Sulfide iron ore, after this is perhaps the best known synonym for non-ferrous ore minerals and the group where element sulfur combines with one or more metallic minerals. Simple sulfides are represented by three common ores, that is pyrite, iron sulphide with 46.8% iron, also known as fool's gold due to its apparent resemblance to gold. Sphalerite, which is zinc sulphide with 67% zinc, and lead sulphide with 86.6% lead. One of the heaviest ore minerals with a specific gravity of 7.5. Chalcopyrite represents where there are two metallic elements, copper and iron, giving a formula of CvFeS2 with 34.5% Cu. It is perhaps the most worked out copper ore mineral in the world, though chalcocite with 79.9% Cu, a simple sulphide, is much richer, though not so very common. There are large number of other sulphides, including those of nickel, cobalt, arsenic. The case of bauxite, which is a mixture of hydrous aluminum oxide and hydroxide, is a special case. Though it is the main ore of aluminum, it lacks metallic character and the appearance of an earthy rock. Now, we will deal with industrial minerals. Many geological materials have immense commercial value without being metallic ores. They are used mostly in their natural state, at times with some beneficiation. These constitute what we call industrial minerals. What used to be considered worthless several decades back currently will be considered an industrial mineral due to constant research and current awareness for using what was generally considered a waste product. Application of industrial minerals in diverse fields including construction, glass, ceramics, electronics, communication, paints, smelting, papers, filtration, plastics, detergents, and several others. Construction and building industry has been using limestone and other rocks as dimension stones and lime since ages, and more recently for cements, aggregates and ballasts. Large quantities of gypsum is consumed in cement and plaster manufacturing. Huge amounts of clays are used in brick making, ceramics, as also talc, steatite and soapstone. Industrial minerals have their important uses as fluxes during smelting operation, and most industrial minerals used as flux include limestone, dolomite, fluorite, silica and borate minerals. Refractory bricks consumes magnesite, silica, kyanite, sillimanite, andalusite and graphite. Minerals like diamond, mostly industrial, and corundum, garnet, silica, emery, which is a mixture of corundum and magnetite, silica, dolomite and pumice are used as abrasives. Micas and quartz are the key components of electrical and electronic industries. Minerals like kaolin, talc, calcite, barite, gypsum etc. are used as fillers, extenders and dilutants. Rock phosphate, that is phosphorite, gypsum and sulphur have tremendous use in fertilizer and agricultural industry. Barite, due to its high specific gravity, which is 4.5, has an exclusive use as weighting agent in oil well drilling mud. Beryl and zircon have very specialized uses, particularly in nuclear reactor technology. A very small number of minerals make up the bulk of all the rocks that constitute the earth's crust. These are called rock forming minerals. Most of these are also come in the category of primary minerals. Olivine, pyroxene, amphiboles, mica, feldspars and quartz are the primary minerals of igneous and metamorphic rocks, and limestone and dolomite that of sedimentary. Ore minerals on the other hand are those rarity from which an element or a few elements could be extracted profitably. The term is generally restricted to metallic elements. Examples include hematite, the ore of iron, galena, that of lead, chalcopyrite, that of copper, chromite, that of chromium. Non-metallic minerals that are extensively used for various industrial purposes are called industrial minerals, whereas an ore mineral is generally found among other common minerals, which we call a gangue mineral, and the metal has to be extracted from it. Industrial minerals are used as a whole. Fluorite, barite, dolomite, quartz, gypsum, kyanite are some of the common industrial minerals. We cannot think of our society without the constant and ever increasing supply of rock forming minerals, ore forming minerals and industrial minerals. According to the data compiled by Rockman Company, per capita consumption of an average American is given in the table, which will amply give the reason why minerals are so much important to us. Here comes the role of an earth scientist, whose job is to help supply the needed demand of these basic ingredients of our civilization regularly and in increasing amounts year after year. Lastly, fuels, semi-precious stones and gem minerals, which are not considered here, make another important group in the amazing world of minerals. Hope you have enjoyed this talk on mineral kingdom, and I hope that in future also we shall talk on some other important issues of the amazing world of minerals, ores and rocks.